2. So we are in Miramar. The plane will take off in approximately 47 seconds. And in this match we have 74 players and going up. And we will see in this match whether Team 3 can maintain their winning streak for game number 2. And welcome back to Alex, who has just joined the stream for game 2. And we'll be watching this match as it unfolds. And looking at the map, we have seen teams 20, 19, 18, 17, 13, 6 flying relatively early, going towards Los Higos and Valdemar, with more teams heading towards Monte Nuevo, Power Station and San Martin, with Team 2 still in the plane and not yet jumping. So while we stay with Team 2 momentarily, we will just jump over shortly to look at Team 20, who should now have landed and will start their looting. And here we see Aoki Mestra rocking the adventurer look. And there we see JX taking down almost three members of team number 3. With only 2 members of player 3 left remaining, it could be over for their winning streak even before it's begun. And there we have Sinan just finishing looting on the left side of the road, with Danny and Rafiki up ahead, with Pydro very nearby, just pushing in now towards them, with Rafiki on a balcony to the left and Danny across the road. Sinan is pushing up floor by floor, still trying to locate the remaining members of Team 3. Team has 2 kills at the moment, with a 6 scope just being found by Sinan there, with an M16 equipped at the moment. So let's move away and let Team 18 continue looting, with Team 3 nearby, and have a look at the map, where we see Team 21 close to another Vape team. And there we have more shots with Rafiki managing to knock Pydro there. With Rafiki firing more shots towards Sinan, meaning that at the moment, with Pydro being knocked, it is 2v2. With Danny finishing off Pydro there, and Ali knocking Danny, with Sinan getting the finishing shot, meaning that Rafiki is the last hope for Team 3 maintaining their winning streak across games 1 and 2. And there we have Rafiki moving away towards southwest, away from Team 18, to try and go for placement at the moment. So whilst we leave Sinan trying to work out where Rafiki has gone, let's have a look at the map and visit Team 17, who are just about to bump into Team 14. And there we have Dragon sat prone inside a building at the moment, away from the rest of his team. So let's jump over to Asterix and see what is going on here. With Team 14 on the left there. Driving around in a camper van with no shots yet being fired. And now we are looking at NCR Andy, who has spotted NM Death Army on the mountain at 10. Just applying bandages to recover some health before presumably using boost to recover the remainder. And there we see Nasty's knocking Storm on the left hand side there, with Storm Vixen getting a knock of their own. And that is Nasty's finishing knocks there, getting another knock for that team. And there we see Nasty's finishing off Vixen there, meaning that the Storm team has now been wiped from game 2 of today's scrims, with Shine Elish getting a knock on task there. With Andy moving towards Regan there. So whilst the teams separate, let's go back over to Team 21 with Dragon coming up against Donis there, with Donis being killed. And there we have PDX getting a knock on Nyx there. With Andrex getting knocked by Shine Elish. With Dragon pushing towards Endrit there just ahead, with Emil getting knocked by a car. Cars don't seem to be suiting the task team very well today. Second time across 2 matches that one of the task members has been knocked by their own vehicle. With White driving away and Team 16 now firing upon Team 7, with Nix getting knocked again and Chris knocking Emil, and Emil taking cover behind the pickup truck. With Andrex getting Denox, Chris finishing off Emil, and Jonathan getting Mustafa there on the left side. With White having retreated, leaving Andrex and Marina to continue fighting Team 16, who have one player knocked at the moment, with Nasties getting Vape Slayer on the left side there, with White moving around the left hand side. And smokes being thrown. And Andrex firing back towards Team 16. And Andrex just managing to spot Vape Nia towards 355, and Nia getting a knock on Andrex with an M24. With Marina now trying to heal her teammate, with teams 5 and 16 pushing in very, very quickly, with White far ahead. So if he gets knocked, it could be all over for team number 7. With White now stuck inside a red zone, with team 5 shooting from the back, team 16 from the front, and team 7 getting squashed in between. And there we see Richie getting Van, Andrex being knocked again, with Marina running round, with White being knocked also, and Richie getting nasties there. Team 16 may now start to push, with shots being fired by Team 4, and that is the end for the task team being White, thanks to being third-partied by ROG, leaving Team 4 to go up against Team 5 and Team 16 on the left. And there we see Raj with an M24 of their own going up against Nia's M24. This will depend on who has the better aim. And shots are already being fired towards Team 4, with Raj now getting into a pickup truck and jumping out. And there we see Savitar managing to knock Nia, and Raj scoping in with the M24 to give some covering fire, with Team 11, the Zen team, just behind them, possibly pushing in shortly and joining in this battle. And there we see Asterix getting Ali, Sinan getting Dragon, and getting the kill there, with Death Army getting Sinan. And we are just 13 minutes in, with 53 players remaining, And the zone closing in now, with Raj using a medkit. And shots still being fired. So whilst this war continues, let's have a look at the map and see what other teams are just approaching, with teams 12 coming up against team 9 in just a moment, with them being in northeasterly direction. And here we see team 12 getting shot at by team 9, who have the height on top of that mountain towards 75 east. With Queen being shot at again, losing almost 75% of her health, and smokes being thrown just to give a bit of cover, with Queen using a first aid kit and Wobbly almost losing all his health. With Snipes and Queen now in a vehicle, Team 12 may try and push away. And there we see more shots being fired, with Wobbly shooting what appears to be a Car 98 at the moment towards Team 9 on the hill. With more shots being fired while Snipes drives away, with Queen in the right hand passenger seat. With Wobbly and Hayden following just behind. And there we see the play zone getting a knock of its own, with one of the Vape team falling short. And with Team 12 now driving into the next zone, with all players moving towards that general direction, we have Team 14 coming into contact with Team 13 shortly, with Teams 20, 10 and 4 colliding now. Let's have a look at Saya, with Skull getting a knock and Fulgur trying to drive away to get some distance. And there is one of that team killed, leaving 3 team members remaining on the raid team. And there we see Abstract being knocked by the zone. And now we see Fulgur's car being shot at and now smoking. He decides to leave to try and find another spot to gain cover, with Team 20 being spotted on the church roof, and shots are now being exchanged both ways. And there we see the Zen team getting knocked, with Buff being knocked there momentarily. Hopefully his teammates will be able to revive him, with Team 10 now going shot at by Team 19, with Zen Wobbly getting Vape Nia, and Zen Buff being caught by Namubis, with Wobbly knocking Vape Queen. And let's have a look there with Jammy now scoping in and seeing Richie just up top with Jammy firing with a Car 98. And there we see the Prison team going up against NCR and Team 11 moving shortly with Wobbly scoping in towards Team 14, one of whom is knocked. And there we see the blue zone now pushing them into the next zone. And with all team members of Team 12 now in the one vehicle, they will try and get into zone without losing too much health. And there we see Fulger getting knocked by the grenade throw. And the Zen team rotating around to try and find a clear entrance into the next zone, with NCR getting some knocks of their own as we move over, and they are in battle with Team 13, both of whom are firing shots at each other, with Sonia being knocked, leaving Revi and Bambi remaining to fight back. And there we see a grenade getting thrown, just missing and not doing enough damage. And there we see Sonia just being revived there by Revi, and Rigon moving back to get to a different spot, with 3 players of Team 13 going up against 3 players of Team 14, with Team 9 just on the left side there. And there we see Prism Sonia getting a knock on Endrit, with Endrit being finished off there by Sonia, and Bambi getting Andy, with Rigon being the last remaining member, trying to move in whilst inside the blue zone. And there we see members of Team 13 driving away, with Sonia being knocked by the play zone. And it will allow Rigon there to get a kill on Sonia and a vehicle remaining, with Bambi finishing off Andy thanks to the play zone, and Rigon taking the vehicle whilst losing health because of the blue zone. And it will be very close, and Rigon just runs out of time and is finished off by the play zone, with Lexa falling to the zone as well, with Namubis trying to revive Richie. And Richie getting knocked again, with Namubis making the decision to leave his teammates there, with Namubis now trying to heal and just managing to use a first aid kit there, and is now going to try and get into the next zone. Big hello to Team Vapex, who have just joined the stream and is now watching Namubis try and use another first aid kit whilst losing a fair amount of health to the blue zone, and with Team 16 having a watchful eye on the outside of zone. Namubis has just jumped out and is taking cover behind his vehicle to either boost or use another first aid, and he is using painkillers just to recover the amount of health that has been taken by the zone. And the Mubis has just shot up a flare. And with it being outside of the zone, it is most likely going to be a car, which at this point, with this sort of terrain, wouldn't be much use. But it may be a good idea to have used it as a distraction, with Team 6 just coming up upon Dre there, and Namubis being finished off by Jay, who was craftily hiding inside that shack there, with Raj shooting towards Team 16, who are driving into the zone with vehicles. And as we can see, like painting with numbers, we have got colours dotted all over the map in the top right corner. Now we are 25 minutes into game 2. We are nearing the end, with the zone changing again in roughly 55 seconds, with players getting knocked left, right, and centre. With Zenjami being knocked, Haka being killed, and Mestra being knocked by Villain, with Redders knocking Death Army, Raj knocking Zen Wobbly, and Redders getting the kill there, with the play zone just jumping in at the end to finish off Zen Revolt. And with a member of Team 19 in zone, along with Team 4 and Team 11, we have a couple of other teams trying to make their way in, with Raj now being joined by a fellow Team 4 member, with PDX Chris moving to the right, Team 17 towards southeast, and the Zen team towards 105. And there we see the play zone getting a member of the NM team being finished off there, with Savitar getting Asterix, Jay getting Fallen, Gerbot getting Villain, and Savitar getting Denox, and Fokker and Yarbot getting Villain there, with Denox being finished. And we still have the play zone finishing Chris and Jay there, and two members of Team 11 towards southeast, Team 4 and Team 20. 3 teams remaining. Only one team can be winner. Who will take over from Team 3 as the winners of Game 2? And here comes the flare drop towards 240 now, with a BDRM being dropped, with Raj just picking up a smoke grenade there, with 4 members. With grenades being thrown left, right, and centre, with Raj looking towards 170, even though no one's there, and Savitar getting a OK. And Fallen being knocked himself, with Janaza getting Frost, Yebot getting Janaza, and Savitar getting Frost. And Mestra there. So with 2 members of ROG fallen, we have Team 11 pushing in from 105, with Team 20 taking shots, and Raj on about 25% health, Savitar at full health, and Team 11 sitting pretty towards 105, letting Team 20 and 4 fight it out amongst themselves. Big hello to Vape Rocky, who has just joined us, and 77. They have just joined us near the end of Game 2, where we see Team 4 against Team 20 against Team 11, with Raj equipping an M4, with Janaza healing up and Yebot getting Jammy and getting a kill there, leaving Redders the last remaining member of Team 11, with 3 members of Team 4 rotating to the right, pushing Redders. and Redders getting a knock on Fallen, and Savitar finishing Redders, leaving it 4 members of Team 4 against 1 member of Team 20. And there we have it, with ROG coming in first place with 12 kills, AOK in second, Zen in third, AG in fourth, PDX in fifth, SK in sixth, and NM in seventh. That was game number 2 of the Vape Scrims. We'll be coming back very, very shortly for the final game, game 3, where we will see if ROG can maintain their winning streak. We will take a very short break and we'll be right back. So please join us and thank you for watching.